Good afternoon, guys. This is your boy Shama Oni, aka Showcase. I hope your afternoon is going well. Mine is going great. Basically, want to make this video. It's been heavy on my heart ever since to do, and I basically said I will do it. I'm trying to make it as precise and compressed as possible. Secondly, I decided not to have bullet points, but just pour out this um, information or conversation as I feel, and as I have been thinking about it and pondering about it. Me and my friend have spoken about it back and forth, and I said I was just going to make this video and put it out there, and hope people listen, people learn, people are curious. People ask questions, and not ask questions, but ask questions to get answer. Everybody becomes responsible of what happens to them versus giving people the responsibility of what happens to them. At the end of the day, the ball ends at your court. You're solely responsible for what happens to you and not somebody else. People can prescribe, people can assist, people can help, but at the end of the day, the final phase or the final call is at your door. With that being said, basically, you guys know what have been happening in the bodybuilding industry with athletes, especially, beginning of last year, maybe not necessarily beginning of last year, end of last year, early this year, and right into the summer down the line. So many athletes have been dropping, and it's been on my mind why. Why? I'm not going to go into this is the cause of it, this may be the cause of it. There's so much content out there by guys that have made so much video about this. You guys can look up it, you can look up on it, you can read about it, or can watch it and come up with what you think is the cause, or wait till find out what the autopsy may be for any of the athletes that have gone and why that happened. A guy that I watched recently that I started following is Nick Triggerly, something like that. Very, very good informed guy. I like his approach. He doesn't necessarily say this is what it is. If it's not being said, that's what it is. He probably puts his own mindset out there, what he thinks may be, what he thinks may not be, but he's really open-minded to the approach of what's happening to athletes, what has happened to athletes, what is happening to athletes. And I like so much topic he has covered. He has covered, the drug aspect, he has covered the mental aspect. Another key area that a lot of us lack in and don't consider that plays a big role for athletes like us in this sport. The mental aspect too is very, very key. You must synergize every single thing and make sure you're whole and you're rounded in all that area. So he's covered a lot of topic about that, and I like that about that. Another guy that I respect so much, is Josh Raymond. I listened to him a while back, and he came up with so many basic angle. He basically just is an athlete, has competed for a while. I think he's retired. I want to think he's retired. Some of his interviews that I watched was with Generation Iron. You can go and look for him, Josh Raymond. Very, very well informed guy, and I like his approach. And that's basically my style. I respect that so much. He's one of them you can go watch and listen to, and then others that have covered topics of what's going on in that industry and find out. But my approach today is more of more of an inquiry approach. Questions we should ask and answers we should find to the questions we should ask, as well as also independently trying to find out that for ourselves, and now start taking a personal approach, and be responsible primarily for what happens to us as an athlete, as a member of an organization, etc. Like I said, at the end of the day, the ball stops at your court. It's all on you. You can't blame anybody else. With that being said, one question I'll ask with everything happening in the body industry is, why is this going on? Like, what is going on? One question. Another question, especially an aspect that my friend Jeffrey Bond brought to me when we're talking about it, is that have we also looked at the synergy of athletes, that are on juices to the COVID shots that is recommended that they should take or we should take, to be safe, is that combination of what they're on with the COVID shot, synergizing well to keep them really safe, or actually maybe it's causing them to malfunction and is shutting down their life. Have you asked that question? That is a question you should go ask and find an answer to. And then, of course, for the young athletes coming up in the sport, especially, which is dear to me and heavy to me, is, are you guys, curious to know exactly how, what you should do, and not necessarily try to look for shortcuts? And quick routes to get to that destination. I'm sorry, it's not a destination, it's a lifestyle. So if your destination is getting a pro card, if your destination is winning your Olympia, that's fine. This thing comes as a result of time, years, and a process. No matter how you try to speed it up, for the most part, you're just going to shut yourself down early in the career faster than you would have lasted long if you take a safer path on the right route. What am I saying? Shows these days are having free seminars, free posings, and stuff. And like Nick said it. Nick was saying, why are promoters now not also talking about, the safe way to be an athlete in this sport? And that is my angle of why I'm making this video. There is a safe way you can be in this sport. I've heard that this sport is evil, the sport is not safe. First of all, let me say this. The world that we live in is not even safe. So what is really safe, if I may ask? Really, what is safe in this life? I don't think anything is safe, but I know that it's what we do in this life that will determine if we stay safe or we don't stay safe. No sport is existing to take life, but existing to give life and also be a glory or be a dominant in their field. So I don't think coincidentally the bodybuilding industry is there to just wreck people or so. No, of course not. I don't think so. I believe they're not, to even start with. It's been a sport that has been discovered and found, and whether you like it or not, it has changed life. Now, are we going to take a safer approach to keep this industry to be safe as people come in and see that truly you can be an athlete in this sport and be safe? Or are we going to ignore those signs and just want to freestyle it or do it the way we feel we should do it? Now, that's the question. Now, that is what I think we should do. I don't think with what is going on, we can ignore what is happening in this industry and address it. I think we should address it. And one of the ways, like Nick said, we should start to address it is to talk about the usage of drugs, the usage of the approach, in prepping yourself for a show, outside a show, lifestyle as a whole. It's very, very, very paramount we start to take that. So important. You cannot overlook that. You cannot freestyle it. You cannot, don't worry, I'm young, I'm good. I can push through this. I'll be fine later. I'll do that now. And then later I'll take care of myself. Unfortunately, guys, you can't take care of yourself later, especially if you have done damage to yourself. You cannot correct what you have destroyed already. Basically, what you're going to do is try to, what's the word? You're going to try to merely be able to handle what has been damaged and keep you and sustain you for as long as you can live till your body basically say, you know what, I can't do this anymore, and shut you down. So why go that route rather than going with a better route or a safer route to approach not the sports only, but a lifestyle change in general? Whether you like it or not, bodybuilding is here. You will come and you will go, and bodybuilding will still stay. So what is your approach to, I want to do this here, but at the self-same time, when I'm done, I still want to have this going for me? And that is how you want to approach it. And like I said, It's about time that in seminars, we're not just talking about posing and what is expected of the athletes. We should also be talking about how athletes to approach their training, their lifestyle, their diet, how they take care of themselves. Now I'm going to say this to every upcoming athletes in this sport, those that want to join, those that are joining, those that want to keep on going in this sport. I beg you, please, please, and please, anybody that is new into bodybuilding, anybody that just started this sport, NPC athletes, national athletes, even IFBB pro athletes, especially if you just got your pro card now, whatever it is, I beg you, you want to take a safer route. Do you do your checkups regularly to see where your health state is? Do you really do that? Or you ignore that? Have you had signs to say something is going wrong way, somewhere, and you paid attention to it, or you ignore it? You cannot do that, especially if you're on something. How much more if you're not on anything and you still have some signs of you having to check up your body because your body may be reacting to something? Even natural people have issues like that and probably should still, not even probably, will still get checked up. How much more on those that are taking other routes to try and achieve that? You cannot ignore those indicators, but pay attention to it. With that being said, my recommendation, and Josh Raymond said this, and I'm going to say it loud and clear. New coming athletes, NPC, athletes that are qualified for nationals and are going to nationals, whatever it is, if you are not doing this naturally and you are depending on juice to get qualified for a national as well as get your pro card, I'm sorry, this sport may not be for you. I will say it again. New coming athletes, NPC, and you are going to nationals, either ways. If you have, then you want to slow down. If you haven't, I will recommend stay that way and push yourself naturally to get qualified for national as well as get your pro card. Why do I say that? This is the first question I'm going to ask again. Have you tapped into the natural ability? In fact, have you tapped not just into the natural ability of your body? Have you tapped into the full natural capacity of your body to create what your body can before you say you want to assist it? No, you haven't. I can say that with 100% confidence, just by even seeing you, just by looking at you, and just by seeing your discipline in whatever level, training, meals, whatever. I can judge by just looking at that. Have you? No, you haven't. Because it's not something that comes natural. It's something that you have to train yourself to be disciplined about and then push yourself through consistently on season, off season, as we say. For me, it's not on season, it's off season. It's a lifestyle. So have you done that to say, I have fully maximized what my natural body can be? And then eventually say, okay, you know what? I may need it for some help. And not necessarily even you recommending that, but you going to check and asking for expert opinion. And then based off of that, they're now recommending small doses to small. Guess what? Because just that little can still make a big impact. But we are not ready. We're not disciplined. We don't want to be patient. We want to take it fast. I'm so sorry. Like I said again, if you take that route, I'm so sorry. You wouldn't last long. This sport may not be for you. So, to my new athletes, to the athletes coming up, to athletes that have been here and are still trying to get their cards, trying to get into the NPC, trying to get the league, trust me, the sport is safe. The league is safe. It's primarily you to take the safe route to make it safe. And in doing that, we all produce a safe industry, a healthy industry, a live industry. And trust me, we will probably force the hands of the industry to go that route. because we have all said, you know what, this is what we're going to do for ourselves going forward. And then eventually, oh, okay, I guess this is good. So we cannot start to say we are going to depend on the league, depend on somebody. No. You want to take matters into your hands. You want to take your life into your hands and say, I have to start to do this for myself if I'm going to last long. Of course, you can get a second eye on stuff, but of course, getting second eye that exactly know what you should be doing, ideally, first of all, and then assisting you very intelligently, very professionally, and not trying to just say, okay, you know what, do this, and eventually you can actually get there. I mean, surprisingly, you can. Maybe you will, but will you last? Is the question. I said that also to say this. I'm not going to say this because I'm trying to prove a point. I don't I I I don't force myself to prove a point, especially when it comes to what I love, what I've done, what I'm doing, what I will do. I just let my actions speak for me. But with that being said, let me put my own self as a guinea pig to why I said what I said. Okay? Um well, if you guys don't know, I'm 41. And for those of you that know, you know. And for those of you that know my past history and where I'm coming from, I've been doing this since I was 13 years old. Okay? And the only thing we do is eat, work out, sleep, and repeat as a childhood or when I was a kid growing up. That's all. So there is a base on foundation that has been built for so long, naturally. 2018, I moved to the States and of course tried different sports. By 19 into 2020, my good friend Jeffrey Bond said, you know what? You got to jump into this, man. You definitely are built for this. I said, okay, we'll give it a try. And we did. Introduced me to his coach, that is my coach, Chris Hill. He's out there. You guys can go find and ask him. And I sat down with him and I said, guy, all right, I want to do this, but these are my terms. I'm going to do this natural, not because I have anything against steroids. Get me right. It's not anything against steroids. It's how do you use that? If you need to use that, that is my issue. But you know what? I don't even think I need to use that yet because I'm getting to a sport that I have never even tried out before. Yes, working out in the gym and lifting weights and looking good is different from saying, now I want to be an athlete for this sport. Totally different. But guess what? I want to do it natural and beat myself down. You know what my coach said? He said, guy, you're in for some more work. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you're going to work twice as hard as those that are on something. Everybody is on something, and probably most people, like he said, to be fair, most are on something, and very few are on nothing, you know. And in those people, they still work hard. How much more you that are on nothing? You're going to work twice as hard. And I said, okay, you know what? Bring it on. That's what I want. Let's work harder. And that's what I did. 2019 into 20. All natural. All natural. At 39 going into 40. When I did my NPC show, I was 39 years old, first ever in my life. The record is there. Go and ask anybody that has it. Unfortunately, my old Instagram handle has been hacked. Trying to get it back. I have a new Instagram handle that I'm going to make this post on. If you find the video, follow it, and you will see what I'm talking about. Make reference to people that have seen the video and can tell you about my story. 2019, did it, Southwest, Eddie and Betty show, Arlington. And boom, qualified for national. Got 4 wins, got 1 second place, got an overall. I moved to national. My coach said, okay, you know what? You're not doing another show 12 weeks out. We're going to Orlando. I said, okay, fine. Stayed that way. Kept working hard. Got to Orlando 12 weeks after. 2 lineups. I did plus 40 I did plus 35. Plus 40, I got my second place, got my pro card. Plus 35, I got my third place. Plus 40 were 12 to 13 athletes. I think plus 35 were 23 athletes. All natural. Took it off here again. Prepped for my pro debut, which I just did this year in August. You guys saw it again. Still natural. Went through all the nines. Did everything to the letter. Boom. 30 what? How many athletes were we? What, 30, 37, 35? It was the biggest Tampa Pro. I guess you guys know. Go and look at the stories there. Again, I did Masters and I did Open. Masters were 12. I got second place in Masters. Overall, that's the Open, which I wanted to see where I match or where I would stand when it comes to Open. And I was at third, fourth call out. You know, I was not necessarily trying to find what my number will be, but basic from the show, see what place I will take when it comes to the Open. And trust me, man, for I said that is for me one of the best experience so far, and man, I would do it again. But the point being said, 3 shows, natural. Go and ask 2 coaches I have, Chris Hill and Ray Baker. I work with both of them. You can verify that issue from them if you want to. You can go out and find out, and if you choose to still believe what you want to believe, fine. But this is my point why I made my story and said my story. At my age, I am pushing it natural. How much more you young folks coming up? 20s, late 20s, 30s, late 30s. You don't have to go that route. Not yet. Stay natural and beat yourself down to the ground. Like Josh Raymond said, I'll say that too, especially for athletes versus trying to find a coach. If you find a coach that's almost going to try to juice you up, then work you hard naturally, think again. If you find a coach, when you're finding a coach in this sport, and you are getting somebody that is going to take short routes, give you the work, but let you depend on some mix that is trying to put you on, think twice. Athletes, if you are lazy and you don't want to work and you're looking for shortcuts and looking for a coach that will rather juice you up than work you, I'm so sorry. You're doing yourself a big disservice. Very big disservice. Get a coach that will beat you to the ground naturally. Walk, diet, exercise, rest, recovery, stretches, yoga, massages, and do it again and again and again. And let us beat all the natural tendencies that your body can ever produce. And if we need to go that route, then we will. Pending that, stay here. I hope, because I know we barely find athletes and coaches that will take that route in these days and time we're living. I'm saying both ways, whether the coaches to the athletes to the coaches, look for indices like that and ask yourself a sincere question. Do I want to take that route or not? My recommendation is get somebody that will beat you down to the ground naturally. And if you need, then it will be recommended. And of course, for me, it will be probably if you're trying to get into the big league, and that's the Olympia stage. Pending when you get there, stay natural. Both ways. That is my recommendation. Am I against steroids? No. Am I against the abuse of steroids? Yes. Do I say steroids is bad and stuff? No. I guess, and I know it has its place, is to know when to know how to, and definitely deal with professional that understands dosage and how to use that so you don't manipulate the natural tendency of your body and your body still takes charge than the other way. Yes, that is how I will go about it. If coincidentally, it's not in my radar. It's never there. With what is going on, it's even far from. I'm going to stay this way as much as I can and see where that gets me. You guys mark my word. This is how Showcase roll, natural, in an IFBB Pro League. We will do it this way till, and I don't think it will ever be that I need it. There's a life after the sport, and I must be alive after the sport. It's not a do or die affair. It's not, guys. It's not a do or die affair. But trust me, I'm ready to always bring in the best and give in my best as much as possible, and I will do that. I said this, or I'm saying this again to say that I'm not only the one speaking like this. There are other people too there that are probably considering this route, maybe taking this route, not sure about it, not being confident about it because nobody's saying anything about it. Everybody else is on the other side. Oh yeah, but trust me, there is. In fact, 2 athletes that I'm working with are natural. Amazing. And the same thing, they hear people, oh, this is, oh, you were on this, you were on this. Oh yeah, but I told you. Oh man. But this is the question. Who is going to last long? Ask yourself that question. Who is going to last long? So the bottom line, like I said, is, are we getting curious to ask questions and getting answers for that deliberately and making sure we start to change the narrative in this sport? I know we can. I know it's possible. And I know that that can happen if we choose, all of us, to say, you know what, this is what we want the sport, or the angle we want the sport to start to go to. And as many as can come forward and start to push it that route, the better for us as individuals, the better for us as athletes, the better for us as athletes in this organization of bodybuilding, the better for the NPC, the better for the IFBB Pro League. Trust me. In fact, with this, you're going to get so much more athletes wanting to come into the sport, and the sport is going to grow huge because we are deliberately now taking a safer route to do this and making sure that people go that route. That is what I'm preaching today, guys. And that's what I want to put out there. Are we asking questions to get answers? Are we asking the right questions? Are we going to take a safer route, a patient route, a disciplined route, which is a longer route? But guess what? It keeps you solid and you last forever and keeps you safe. Or are you going to take the microwave route? And it's over. These are my thoughts today, and these are the questions that I have for you guys. Please like, share, comment on the video, spread the word, and inbox me if you want to. You know, let's have this conversation going. But going forward, I'm going to be a voice, you know, to push this angle and this approach, you know, of training, this approach to the sport, this approach for athletes, this approach for coaches, this approach for promoters, this approach for judges, this approach for the NPC or the IFBB. I'm going to also be poking till we start to change the narrative, guys, and see how we can make this industry really safe. It is safe. We have to make it that way. The sport is safe. We have to make the sport that way. The sport is not a sport that kills. No, it's not. We are the one that have made it kill because of the narrative we are living to just fix itself and not saying we're going to take responsibility in our hands and change it. And we should do that. But like I said, in all that, at the end of the day, especially for the athletes or the coaches or whoever, especially the athletes, at the end of the day, the ball stops at your court. That whatever happens to you going forward, you're solely responsible for it and nobody else. I'll be signing down here. It's already 30 minutes. There's so much to say, but I'll kill it here. Like I said, drop your comments, in the comment box. If you want to personally message me, please do the same. Let us go back and forth about this and let us see how we can truly help our industry, sanitize the industry, and see how we can bring life back into this and let this thing grow, blossom, and let people know that truly the bodybuilding sport industry is a sport that gives life and not take life. This is your boy Showcase signing out. Until the next video.